Can you imagine a world where secrets are held not in shadows but in swirling mists? Where spies aren't James Bond but an army of silent calculators? It might sound like the plot of a spy movie, but it's closer to home than you think. This is the story of one man's brilliance that almost went unnoticed, and how his quiet work changed the world. It's me, and you're watching this channel. Join me as we explore the overlooked aspects of history that really shaped our world. Back to our story. Picture this. The year is 1938 and the world is on edge. The Second World War is casting its dark shadow, and secrets are exchanged not through hushed whispers but through the clatter of keys on typewriter and the hum of peculiar machines. Enter Alan Turing, a name that would echo through the corridors of history, not as a soldier or a politician, but as a mathematician and logician. He's like the Sherlock Holmes of numbers. He's got this quaint office at the heart of Bletchley Park, which sounds like a nice holiday spot, but is actually a top-secret British code-breaking center. And here's the deal. The Germans are using a code-breaking machine called Enigma that can generate billions of potential code combinations daily. To the average person, it's like trying to crack a safe with a trillion possible passcodes. But to Turing, it's just a puzzle waiting to be solved. He assembles a small team of about 60 codebreakers, including the brilliant Joan Clark, and they set out to do the seemingly impossible: break the Enigma code. Their work is shrouded in secrecy, so much so that some people believe the events at Bletchley Park were nothing but a figment of imagination. But it's as real as the impact it had. In fact, according to historians, breaking the Enigma code shortened World War II by 2 years. An estimate based on the fact that each day the Allies received intelligence from the decrypted messages. They'd estimate around 7,500 messages per day, helping them track German U-boat movements, anticipate attacks, and stay ahead in the war. So you're probably thinking, wow, that's a big deal. But it gets even cooler. You see, Enigma wasn't just about coded messages. It was also about the machine itself. Turing's quest to crack the Enigma code led him to build the bomb, a unique machine that tested thousands of Enigma's possible settings in mere seconds. It's like having a really smart friend who can test all the answer choices on your math quiz before the teacher arrives. Except instead of math problems, the bomb dealt with letter combinations and encryption. This invention, considered to be the world's first programmable computer, not only helped decipher the German codes, but also laid the groundwork for the digital age. As if that's not enough, there's more. Historians now realize that the contributions of Turing and his team went beyond what was previously thought. They've discovered that Turing's crew at Bletchley Park provided intelligence that helped the Allies win several important battles, including the Battle of the Atlantic, which was crucial for the D-Day landings, and ultimately the liberation of Western Europe. That's right, the success of one of the most significant military operations in history was partly due to the efforts of a group of people sitting at desks, typing away at machines that looked like they came from the future. Now let's take a step back and appreciate the magnitude of what these humble codebreakers achieved. They cracked a code that was believed to be unbreakable. They shortened a war that had the potential to last many more years. And they laid the foundation for technologies that we take for granted today. All this happened behind closed doors, hidden from the public eye. These weren't larger-than-life heroes with capes and superpowers. These were ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Now, you might be wondering why you haven't heard about this before. Well, the work at Bletchley Park was kept secret for several reasons. First, it was a matter of national security. Revealing their methods could compromise future code-breaking efforts. Secondly, it was to protect the men and women involved. If the Germans knew who was behind the decryption, they could target them. And lastly, it was simply easier to keep it a secret. In the years after the war, it seemed unnecessary to bring up something that had been successfully kept hidden. It was only in the 1970s that the full scope of their work began to be revealed. When I think about this story, I'm reminded of a quote that goes, Most people are only remembered when they're dead, and then often not even then. It's sad, but true. How many unsung heroes are there whose stories are lost to time? People whose contributions are so significant, yet their names are unknown to most of us. I think it is important that we take a moment to appreciate the fact that history is not just about kings and queens, wars and revolutions. It's also about the everyday people who make extraordinary contributions. It's about the teachers who inspire generations of students, the scientists who work tirelessly in labs, the artists who touch our souls with their creations, and yes, the code breakers who fought a silent war on their home front. You know, I've always been fascinated by history, but it's stories like these that make me fall in love with it all over again. It's like discovering a hidden gem in an antique shop, something that looks old but holds immense value, and that's exactly what the work at Bletchley Park represents. So let's continue to explore these hidden gems together. Let's uncover stories that have been buried under the weight of more famous events. Stories like the Navajo code talkers during World War II. If you've never heard of them, trust me, their story is incredible. In a world where technology is becoming more advanced every day, it is easy to forget that it wasn't too long ago that we were figuring out how to send messages secretly. The Navajo code talkers were Native American soldiers who developed a code based on their language that the Japanese could break. This code was incredibly effective and helped the Allies win many battles. What's amazing about their story is that it shows how something that seems outdated, like a secret language, can be incredibly powerful. In a world where everyone is connected by technology, it's easy to forget that there was a time when communication was more limited. The Navajo code talkers remind us of the power of simplicity and how something that seems basic can be incredibly effective. As we come to the end of this journey through history's hidden corners, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take a moment to think about all the unsung heroes whose stories have been overlooked. Maybe it is your neighbor who volunteers at a local charity or the teacher who made a difference in your life. It is important that we take the time to appreciate these people and share their stories so that they don't get lost in the pages of history. Because the truth is, it's not the famous faces or the monumental events that shape our world. It's the quiet acts of courage, the brilliant minds working behind the scenes, and the everyday people who make extraordinary contributions. So let us make sure that these stories are told and read so that future generations can learn from them and be inspired by them. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history's hidden corners. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more untold stories that shaped our world. And if you have a story you'd like to share, use the hashtag provided. Who knows, your story might be featured in a future episode. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.